pray for Dad to come back to the church.
How can he not believe anymore? He's breaking his promise to me, to God.
I would say, please, please, please bless that Daddy will come back to the church.
What happens if I don't believe anymore? Is she still going to love me the way I am?
But now I kind of feel like me and him have a better connection now that he's not in the church.
I wish this wasn't happening.
Okay, welcome to Unequally Yoked.
Why do you always get to open?
Because I want to. Do you want to start? Because I know it's going, so go ahead.
This is Unequally Yoked that you're listening to. Neal and Naomi.
What's your name?
You're listening to Unequally Yoked with Neal and Naomi Winters.
Glad to be part of this podcast tonight, Naomi.
Haha, I got to announce us. I never get to.
Keep in mind, I'm the last one. I'm the one who edits, so I can cut you out.
Touché. So, you wanted to talk about Christmas.
I've got a litany of subjects I want to talk about tonight.
Okay, well, can we start with Christmas?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we just got back from our two daughters' choir program.
Yep.
Okay. And I noticed I was counting everything up. They had about 24 songs. I may have counted it wrong. And most of them were done by the choir. And there were a few done by students, like they wrote a song or they arranged a song. One of the songs that they arranged was
Down by the River to Pray?
Yeah, that. And then the only other spiritual song that there was Do You Hear What I Hear?
Yeah.
Every other one was some politically correct thing about snow or Santa or bells or sleigh it did say the word Christmas.
Yeah.
I got nothing about Hanukkah, nothing about Kwanzaa, nothing about like the winter solstice or anything like that, right? So no diversity.
So it was about the holiday. It was all about Christmas, but it was about the secular side of Christmas, right?
I guess so. I just know that for me, I was a music major, and for me growing up, I had choir all the way from, elementary to college. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I loved that my teachers did was they would pick songs, not only contemporary songs, but songs from history that are important to know, and explain to us kind of the background of why it was written, what the author, the composer, not author, but what the composer was thinking. And then we would go through the lyrics and talk about exactly what they meant and what kind of journey were we going to want to try to take the audience on. And so by the time you were done with this song, you felt like you were a friend with it. You had a relationship with it. And when you sang it, it wasn't just about the technical crap. Mm-hmm. It was about this emotional thing
and
that you're trying to draw.
So I don't want to criticize the choir teacher or anything, but did you feel like the emotional journey was left out of the presentation tonight?
Yes, but that's not what bothered me. And I did ask my daughter, I'm like, do they give any background? Do they do? She's like, no, we just sing. We learn the music and we sing it.
Yeah.
Nothing exciting, nothing. Anyway, music historically started with church.
With religion.
That's what music was for.
Well, I don't know if that's necessarily 100% true.
Okay, written,
yes, because, you can go back to ancient African tribes, I'm sure, and, well, maybe that music
was cultural. If you should count that as spiritual.
Yeah, I guess it would be.
It is religious.
Because they're probably praying to their gods or what have you.
Yeah, so for me, like, we learned Latin songs, we learned Russian, we learned, all these sort of things, and they are trying to take it completely out And I start to feel like we're so into not only secularizing, but being so politically correct that we gloss over history. Mm-hmm. Like, at what point are we just going to say, we can't talk about that because...
Well...
so many have...
I think this is a loaded subject. It's a good subject, but I think it's loaded because you've got the argument on the one side from the secularists who want religion taken out of school completely and no prayer, no nothing like that. And then you would have the argument from the religious folks who don't want it taken out. But
then what about historians? Yeah,
that's actually where I was going.
You know?
I tend to agree with you in terms of I don't particularly like a lot of church and school, mm-hmm. but knowing you and knowing your perspective and knowing the history of music from learning from you, I think there is a place in the classroom to learn spiritual songs because it's part of the heritage of music. Mm-hmm. Now, if you take that to the opposite extreme, though, is it okay? I mean, do we want our kids to learn rap and heavy metal?
They do.
What about as part of choir?
Some people do.
I mean,
you have chanting, and I know that they have rearranged some of the heavy metal stuff for a choir to have parts.
Uh-huh. Does that bother you?
I've seen it all done. No, that's the thing that I love is that I want my kids to be exposed to it all. And mm-hmm. one of the ways that you get exposed to it without feeling like
you're trying to be converted?
Right. And without feeling judgmental about it, because we're kind of all ethnocentric, our way is best.
Right.
Is by taking this journey with the music, feeling it, having a relationship with it, that doesn't necessarily have to be this personal, I believe it. It's just putting yourself in that moment and experiencing it. And I missed that. And it was fun. Like, all the songs were fun, but I wasn't moved.
Right. Well, the one song...
I went on no journey.
I think, the Down by the River to Pray...
That one took me on a journey.
The funny thing is that was sung by, like, the inexperienced high school kids. But of all the songs that I heard tonight, that one, even though I'm not spiritual, that one moved me the most.
It took you on a journey,
right? Yeah. It was, I didn't care if it was religious or not. It was the harmonies and the singers singing it. You could feel it from them. Like, it was wonderful. There was one song that was sung tonight that really bothered me, though.
Which one?
Christmas Wish.
Oh, tell me about that.
Every man would have a friend. Number one, I don't like saying every man would have a friend. It should be everyone would have a friend. Mm-hmm. The line that really bothered me is, and right would always win. Because right can be defined so differently.
Yeah.
And in the context of that song, I mean, obviously I'm biased, but in the context of that song, my interpretation of what they think is, quote, right is Christmas winning the war on the holiday season, and all these social things that I see one way, calling good evil and evil good.
Yeah,
like that song is so. It implies a lot that I disagree with, and.
Do you think anybody else in the audience thought about that?
I don't know. Maybe, maybe not.
Okay, because, like, to me...
I would have rather heard Silent Night than that song, in all honesty.
Really?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, I would have too, but not for that reason.
Yeah.
Gosh. Neal, that's weird to me. I mean, I get it. I understand, but not there with you at all. I mean, it's like Star Wars. There's right and wrong, good and evil. Every movie has this sort of good versus evil type thing.
But this is talking about social change, and maybe it's one of those things where us secularists should take control of that song and own it,
Yeah.
And say, okay, right means
decency,
or
honesty,
right means not
being kind,
or not oppressing people.
And that's what Christmas is to me, is like gift, providing for the people who have less, looking outside of yourself. I mean, that's kind of what it's become, right?
Yeah.
The whole season is not...
Here's what bothers me about that.
Okay.
Right would always win. In the context of that song, or in the context of anything, it puts an us versus them attitude out there. And I don't like that.
You don't like us versus them.
I don't like us versus them. Right would always win. Okay, I'm a secularist. Right will always win. Church will be taken out of the government. I am a Christian. Right will always win. Church will be put back in the government.
Like, how would you put this? Like, good will triumph?
But what is good?
Why do you have to define it?
You have to.
So I can't even use the word good in my music or in my poetry or...
You can. I don't have a problem with that. But in this particular song, to me, given the times that we live in with...
Okay, give me the rest of the list. It was the grown-up Christmas list. What else is on that list?
Everyone would have a friend. Right would always win. Wars would never end, or wars would always end. Something like that.
There's something about war?
Yeah.
Okay, Google this. This is just wrong. Because
some of this stuff is really good. But, grown up, GT, GROWN, up, UP, Christmas list. Okay. It's an Amy Grant song. So Amy Grant is a Christian singer.
She is?
Yes, she is. Yes.
Okay.
She is. So that's a young picture of her on Wikipedia. Where are the lyrics?
Need to type in lyrics. While you're doing that, do you remember going to see the Monks?
Yes, in Ogden.
Yeah.
Actually, it wasn't. It was above Ogden.
We had to go travel up the canyon. I don't know, but I remember we both really liked it, and we were moved, and neither one of us believed that stuff.
Yeah. Honestly, like
and we didn't even. I mean, that wasn't even words, was it?
No, it wasn't.
Well, no, they did Latin.
But if we were to go. If the Messiah was playing, if a choir was putting on, I would still love to see that, because the music is so good in it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have a problem.
That Baroque.
I mean, and also it's history, right? Mm-hmm. Okay.
So wait, then wouldn't the rest of that song be good? And yet that doesn't justify saying something about that we want to be good.
Okay. So here we go.
Okay. Ooh. Then what about Santa Claus is coming to town? Like, you better like the good versus evil.
Like on is it Elf? Elf, where they sing Santa Claus is coming to town.
Do they?
Yeah, they do, to inject Christmas spirit into his sleigh.
You better not doubt. Wait, how
Zooey Deschanel singing it. You better watch out. You better not cry. Better not pout, I'm telling you why.
Okay, well, is there anything... Anyway, go, read the words.
Okay, do you remember me? I sat upon your knee. I wrote to you with childhood fantasies. Okay? Well, I'm all grown up now and still need help somehow. I'm not a child, but my heart still can dream. So here's my lifelong wish, my grown-up Christmas list, not for myself, but for a world in need. And here's the chorus. No more lives torn apart. Good. That wars would never start. Good.
We usually like that.
And time would time would heal all hearts.
Yeah, this is all secular.
Everyone would have a friend.
Yeah.
And secular. Right would always win. That's where it bothers me. And love would never end. This is my grown-up Christmas list. So maybe it's better than I thought.
It's not the us versus
Okay,
them.
wait. As
there's
children, well, no, I don't know. As children, we believed the grandest sight to see was something lovely wrapped beneath our tree. Well, heaven surely knows that packages and bows can never heal a hurting human soul. What is this illusion called the innocence of youth? Maybe only in our blind belief can we ever find the truth. That's the other line. I forgot about that one. Yeah. So
Yeah, that's pretty.
it's very religious.
Yeah.
So it's funny, like some of the concepts.
But okay, but you know how they get away with it is that they liken it to Santa Claus,
Yeah, well-
right? Your blind belief in
Yeah,
Santa.
I don't have a problem. It comes back to what you started this conversation with. I don't necessarily have a problem with the school singing that song.
Yeah.
I just have a problem with the song.
Yeah.
Like the school can sing it because it's secular enough that it's okay, but the concepts promulgated by the song I disagree with.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of like a contradiction in that okay, they can sing it. It's part of our culture.
Yeah.
It's part of our Christmas tradition, but I don't like the concepts that it portrays.
Tell me what you do like about Christmas.
About Christmas?
Like, because it's different for you now.
Yeah.
I mean, we used to always wake up before we would open our presents.
And say a prayer.
We would, read the story in Luke or whatever.
Luke chapter
3.
3.
Anyway, we always find it.
Luke 3.
And say a prayer that we're grateful, and then we'd open our stuff.
So, okay, so...
What the heck are we doing this year?
I don't know. We haven't even really talked about it. We didn't do that last year, and I wasn't a believer then.
Well, you were pissed.
I'm not as pissed this year.
No.
I don't particularly want to read Luke, and I don't particularly want to obsess about Santa. I mean, none of our kids believe in Santa anymore, so that's. But I still want to do Santa because Christmas to me, even as a 17-year-old, I'd wake up in the middle of the night to see what my parents had brought out. Like Christmas to me is about wonder,
Magical,
and magic. Like it's one of the few instances of magic in my life that I still love. Mm-hmm. I love giving gifts to our kids. I love the wonder and the excitement of building up to it. And I'm probably different than most atheists in that I love the idea of teaching our kids about Santa and letting them have that wonder and that excitement. And it's age appropriate to me. I mean, there's nothing wrong with believing in Santa as a kid. And then when it's time to not believe, I don't have a problem with them. And honestly, I think it's wonderful that our 7-year-old had and it's okay if other 7-year-olds don't, but to me it's wonderful that our 7-year-old questioned enough to start thinking about Santa and thinking critically. This really doesn't seem likely. So I love that he believed, but I also love that he questioned and came to that conclusion on his own that there probably wasn't a Santa Claus. So anyway, back to your question, what are we going to do for Christmas?
Yeah. Oh, well, back on Santa Claus, just for funsies, I'm weird. I do not like lying to your kids in any shape or form. Uh-huh. And so when they ask me questions about Santa, I never make up any of the stories. I just am like, oh, what do you think? Oh, yeah, maybe it works that way. I don't know.
See, when
I would talk about it being a symbol of giving, and I did talk about it being a symbol of Christ,
right,
and of goodness and looking outside yourself. And when Zach came to me, I would, I'd put it off really long, just kind of getting his ideas. And he said, do you believe in Santa Claus, Mommy? And like I always do, I said, yeah, he's a wonderful symbol. He reminds me of this, and that, and being good and trying to look outside myself and care about other people. And he said, so he's real? And I was like, well, like for me, he is. And And finally he nailed me down and said, but you're the one that brings the stuff, right? Like, you're the one that brings it. And I was like, yeah, we do. But we do it because it reminds us of stuff that's important. And he goes, oh. Like, he was bummed out by it, you know? Like, he didn't want that to be the right answer. But he kind of knew it was because everybody else had been telling him that. But I don't know. For me, it was easier for me to find out about Santa because that's how my dad was. He always said he believed.
I think it comes into how your parents raised you. Yeah. So how did your dad treat Santa?
He talked about him being a symbol. He talked about the spirit of giving at Christmas time, looking outside yourself, loving everyone. He always said he believed in Santa because talked about the symbol. I don't think he did this for the other kids. I don't know why he did this for me. Maybe he did. I haven't asked my siblings. But so, yeah, when it came, I just kind of knew. I didn't really even ask full on, so you guys are bringing the presents, you know? I just was like, at some age, it made sense.
Right.
And it didn't make me, I didn't feel like I had been doped or, you know.
Duped, you mean?
Duped. Maybe I was doped.
My dad was mad when my mom told me that Santa was real. Like, he was not happy at all. He wanted. So
is he ever happy?
I don't know.
No, he was very pleasant. This
it was
past
great
trip.
to see him.
He was good for our kids.
Yeah, but when I finally confronted my mom when I was like 9 in 4th grade, I think. He wasn't happy. I don't remember what he did. I just know.
You were 9?
Yeah, like in 3rd grade, my teacher stood up and said, "You guys may as well know Santa Claus isn't real," and I refused to believe her.
Oh.
Which gets into the whole faith and thing, like,
yeah.
We don't need to go there.
But you had magic for one more year.
I did.
That wonderful.
And it was great. And that magic lasted until I left on my mission.
Is there any, correlating that with religion, is there any part of you that wants to not ruin it for other people because it does have mysticism and excitement and miracle for them? It's excitement like believing in Santa.
I'm scrunching my face because that's a tough question.
Right?
It's a really tough question. Like, I miss the magic of being a teenager and going on youth trips for with the ward. And that might be because there were girls on that trip that I had a crush on. But I don't know. There was one trip in particular that I still look back on with fondness. And we went down to St. George and went to a tabernacle in, I think, Pine Valley. And it was a beautiful trip.
Yeah.
And we all felt this camaraderie. And that's the thing that I miss most about religion is the common core. And so it's hard to want to get somebody out of religion because there is this sense of community and this sense of belonging that you don't really get. It's hard to find that same sense outside of it. I feel lucky because I think I have found it with the Hickory Humanist Alliance.
Right.
But there are a lot of folks who leave religion and don't know where to find a community.
Alone, yeah.
Yeah. So that...
Well, what about, I'm not talking only about the sense of community, but you know those times where you feel like it's magical? When you feel that little tingly, I don't know.
I think
people could say they feel that when they pray, the same as they feel the excitement for Santa.
Yeah, you can feel that outside of religion too. You can feel a sense of wonder and awe about the universe and about life. I don't think you have to have religion to have those kinds of experiences. So
Yes, but I have a time set aside at least once a week for me to get to feel that way.
Yeah, it takes a lot more effort to feel that way if you're not going to church.
Got to set a time, huh?
Yeah, I don't often...
That's why people meditate.
Yeah, and I don't
It
take
gets
advantage
them.
of that very often.
Meditation is so good for you. Prayer is a form of meditation.
Yeah,
It really is.
true that. I don't pray anymore.
Maybe you should meditate.
Yeah, my meditation is scotch.
I was going to say, it'd probably help your anxiety if you meditated.
Probably would. It probably would. Okay, what do I have written down?
So yeah, what else? Where else did you want to? There was something I was going to say to what you were saying.
Oh, okay, go ahead. But I do have
But
another
I can't
subject.
remember. Go ahead.
Okay, tonight we were at the choir concert with our kids, and our boy had a flatulence problem, right? And it was annoying, like, because it
was loud.
It was loud.
Like,
It wasn't.
people were turning and looking.
Yeah. So, like, how do you handle that? And no, I'm serious. Like, as a parent, how do you handle
How
that?
would a secularist handle it as opposed to a religious
No.
person?
Let me. I know that this is a weird subject, but it made me think about how I feel like I've become a better parent as a result of not believing, in that my initial reaction was to shame him and to tell him how wrong it was and make him feel bad.
And you don't think that has come from therapy and experience as a
I don't know.
parent? You're attributing it to church?
There are. It's not necessarily church, but there are parents who use guilt and shame to motivate their parents.
Because it works.
Or their kids.
Most parents use it. It's effective.
But it's not a healthy way to raise your kids.
But we learned that in therapy.
Yeah. So my son, who flatulated in public, did get shamed by a sibling for doing it. And
she was so embarrassed.
yeah, my tactic, because I am an awesome parent, was to talk to him and just let him know, but still build him up. And maybe it's not necessarily religious or secular as much as it is trying to be a good parent and make sure your kids, even though they do inappropriate things, sometimes don't know those things are inappropriate or annoying. And I mean, I still do it to our kids, like fingernail polish on the table. I get so mad, so pissed at my kids who.
Okay, but this does bring up.
Yeah.
You really, at the heart of this, you really do believe that church is the shaming and guilt central of everything.
I do.
That's one thing you hate about religion.
Yes, it is. Because I felt shame all the time as a kid, as a teenager. I thought I was going to hell. I thought there was no hope for me. And I don't want our kids to feel that.
Yeah.
I want our kids to feel wonder and awe about the world and wonder and awe about themselves and know that they're good enough.
I do too.
No matter what. And I did not feel that as a kid, and that was a direct result of religion.
You don't think any of it had to do with parenting style?
Some of it might have, but the things that I felt guilty for, no, was not parenting. It was religion.
Okay, but I'm talking about your basic reaction. You were taught, if I do something wrong, you get yelled at, you're a bad person, how dare you, what were you thinking? I mean, those are the kind of things you heard, right?
Yeah, but I also...
As opposed to...
I also internalized...
Hey, you made a bad decision. Let's learn from it.
I also internalized what I was taught at church. It was a combination of the two, and felt like less of a human being. And religion still does that to people.
Yeah, I suppose it's a personal how you take it. I mean, because honestly, you and I were born more susceptible to being guilt-ridden.
Yeah.
We are, and we have one. We have a couple that are like that.
I don't feel guilt like I used to when I was in religion.
Yeah.
I don't. And I feel a lot freer because of that.
Well, that's because you can decide what's right or wrong based on what you're doing.
That makes it sound like I have sloppy morals.
No.
And that's not the case.
No, but I mean, really.
Well, my sense of right and wrong has changed. If I do something to harm another human being emotionally, like our kids, I feel guilt. Like, I feel like that is a genuine thing to feel guilt about, is hurting somebody else physically or emotionally. But I don't feel guilt about drinking scotch, for example, like I would have prior to this. Like, my sense of things that are wrong have changed.
Really, your sense of things that are wrong is way more
liberal,
lenient. Anything goes.
Not anything.
Not
goes.
anything,
No.
but it's more on that side as opposed to
there
are rules.
It's not anything. It's anything more. Anything goes as it relates to me as an adult, but as it relates to other people and my actions on other people, I'm not an anything goes type of person. I've got to being honest, except for with you. Being honest at work, being ethical, treating people right, and giving them a chance. That's not anything goes. So yes, like on adult things, like things that impact me as an adult.
But what about
as an
things like that take a higher amount of self-control? Like, what do you have in your belief system?
Like things that require a higher amount of self-control. That's not anything goes.
Give me something.
Having an affair. That's not okay. That's bad. So,
well, not if there's two consenting adults. Right?
But it's keeping a secret from you and it's hurting you.
Yeah.
So that's not two consenting adults.
But if there were, then, like, it's not necessarily the problem of not being monogamous. You don't believe it's an affair.
You can still have an affair.
If you have an open marriage, then it's not wrong.
I wouldn't have as much of a problem with it, no. No, because it's consenting adults.
Is it wrong?
I'm
pinning you down and putting you in a tight spot.
I don't think it is. If it's a consenting couple, they're not harming other people, I don't think it's wrong. But at the same time, there are studies that show that for most couples, it's damaging.
It does harm other people. That's the thing, it does.
Who does it harm besides the married couple? The kids? That's, I guess.
Yeah. And the other people they sleep with?
Unless the other people are participants, willing participants.
Or may not know.
No, when I say open marriage, I mean it's two couples who agree together.
I think it hurts people all around. You don't do it. And I guess that's where my sense of right and wrong is, that there are things that are just right and things that are wrong. Things that bring us closer to being like animals.
Uh-huh.
And things that make us a higher species.
Okay.
Like, I don't know. And I think it's better to be a more refined self-control type person.
Yeah, and
being able to control your language, being able to control your bodily urges, your sexual urges, your appetites. Like, that makes me feel like we are evolved
Okay.
to a higher level.
And that to me is like a religion trying to control somebody. Like I see
Me wanting to be like that or me believing that?
No, I mean I see religion putting its claws into people's lives, telling them, trying to control their behavior. And if you want to have self-control, great. But I have a problem with religion dictating what that self-control could be. Or should be.
Okay, so is religion something that like-minded people get together to strengthen one another? Or is it, I mean, in your view, it's like brainwashing. Like I don't decide what I want and believe and then find like-minded people and feel comfortable there. It's like I was there and they convinced me I drank the Kool-Aid.
To a certain extent, we were raised with that. I mean, we were raised with that belief. There are many people who are raised in a region, and they grow up believing the way that religion believes. Indian people who are raised in India are all Hindu. Not all of them, but the great majority.
But that's the thing, is that it resonates with them.
Yeah,
it feels right. It feels.
That's because
if it didn't feel right to me, I'd be like you. I'd leave, right?
You would, but
I'd be like this. I don't feel comfortable here.
But I
anymore.
would say, odds are that it's going. Like if you were to come in from an outsider, odds are that it would bother you. You would be more likely to be bothered with it than if you were raised in it and it was part of your culture growing up.
Yeah. So here's my problem then. I feel like atheists in particular, or secularists, or, people who have left my religion in particular.
Me.
Think that they are, well, no, because we've had talks about this, think that they are, they've found some big secret and this higher way of thinking, and they've gotten away from drinking the Kool-Aid. They've gotten out of this habit, whereas there really are people who are just as high-minded and have actually critically thought about these things.
Critically thought in the paradigm of the religion, the paradigm that the religion wants you to think in.
I can turn that around. You critically thought in the way that people outside the religion wanted you to think in.
That's true. And people who leave the religion, by and large...
honestly, I have critically thought outside and inside.
Mm-hmm.
I took both of those stances and experienced it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't...
Okay. That's fair.
I feel like it's unfair to assume, for either side, to assume that they're smarter than the other.
Right. And there is a certain amount of evangelism that goes on, especially as you first leave religion. And
talk about that. What do you mean?
I mean, you leave. It's like people who go into religion. They've discovered something that they've never thought of or never
that they love.
That
they want people to join,
and people who leave Mormonism want to convince everybody that Mormonism's wrong. And I'm in these post-Mormon groups on Facebook, and it's kind of like a recurring theme. You see waves of people come in, and they all want to sue the church, or they want to expose it for what it is. And as you move along, you realize the church is much bigger than you or me. Mm-hmm. You cannot. You can resign. You can do what you feel is right, but you're not going to convince people. And the idea of arguing and trying to arguing for the purpose of convincing is, for the most part, is a fruitless and pointless effort. It's better to try and build bridges and help and have people understand where you're coming from. Mm-hmm. And even then, that's difficult because folks can perceive it as being oppressive or persecution.
That way, when they, if and when they're wondering, they know they can come to you. They can ask.
Yeah. I mean,
because I had to give a hard lesson for me on Sunday about being a missionary, right? Mm-hmm. Missionary work. And that was one of the big things that we talked about was you can invite. And beyond that, if they're not interested, your job is to love and to have good relationships with people and be kind.
And how often do we, as religious people in our neighborhoods, go outside of our comfort zone and befriend our non-believing neighbors? I think you do a pretty good job of that, but how common is that, especially like in Utah?
Yeah.
I
would think it's more common than you think, because in your small town that was...
No, that's not true. I had quite a few friends who were in LDS growing up. I think of it being common in like Utah County. And it's not that you don't want, it's not that you purposely ignore, but a ward, you can be your congregation could be on one side of the street and another congregation could be on the other side, and you rarely associate with them.
You see them once a week if you're in church,
and your blocks cross over.
Yeah.
We had friends in old wards where we got to know people and then didn't keep in contact after we left because we got so busy with the ward we were in. So we can love people, but you have a tendency to stick with the social group you are given, and as a result,
you go where you're comfortable.
You go where you're comfortable, but you don't necessarily associate with neighbors who aren't LDS or aren't religious because they don't. You don't see them.
You're comfortable around like-minded people most of the time.
And a lot of the time, the tendency is to love these people to the point until they stop wanting to hear more about the church.
Yeah, I hate that. Oh, that bugs me so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're talking about inviting them to neighborhood parties that the church may be throwing on, inviting them.
But is there a prayer and is there a missionary type effort at the church parties?
I mean, that's the thing, is that these are things I'm going to. I'm going to go to them. You're welcome to come.
Yep.
And then I try to find other ways that we can connect too. Other things we might have in common. And hopefully you have this wonderful relationship and make friends. But sometimes it really is hard to find things in common with a neighbor. I mean, or with an in-law or something, and you try and
there's
kind of tough. There's a gap.
Yep.
I mean, maybe you don't love shooting guns or hunting or whatever, and I don't know, it's tough. But gosh, I had a good thought.
I have something else I want to talk about.
Does Santa Claus shame people? Because, if you're good, you get something.
Yes, you can use parents.
If you're bad,
you get coal.
Don't.
If you're bad, you get coal. Yes, Santa Claus, when I was a kid, shamed people, for sure. The concept of Santa Claus did.
Have you ever really heard somebody getting coal?
Yes.
I mean, except for a joke.
No, I've heard of somebody getting coal. I don't know if it was true or not, but as a kid, there were two boys who were not very well behaved.
Naughty.
And Santa Claus brought them coal.
Oh, it's not true.
I hope it's not, but I have heard of it. And people can use that as a shaming tool. We can use almost anything as shaming,
Yeah,
dog.
we can.
So, shame sucks.
So we.
Sucks. Okay,
What is Christmas to you?
No more lives torn apart.
Shut up.
The wars will never start.
No, like What do you think of at Christmas time?
Like
What do you,
I
what do
think
you
I already told
feel?
you, the wonder, the joy, the opportunity to give and think of other people. Seeing the excitement in my kids' eyes when they wake up, and then being frustrated 4 hours later when they are sick of their toys that they just got that morning.
Okay, so what are we going to do Christmas morning?
You can say a prayer if you want. I don't mind. I mean, I won't participate, but I think it's good to wake up and be grateful for what we have, for a house and for means to have a Christmas, because not everybody has it.
Yeah.
I think that we need to do a better job of thinking outside of our family and giving to people in the community. I'm horrible at that. I am. Like, there's no excuse.
Interestingly enough, we were better at it when we had less.
Yeah, we were.
When we were poor college students.
Yeah, we were a lot better at it.
It's kind of like that thing on the internet.
The ASL challenge?
No, the people who actually shared were the homeless.
Pay it forward type thing?
No, they went out and they asked people for food, or they
the homeless guy who
asked if they wanted to share or whatever, and the people that were more giving were the homeless.
Yeah.
Because you know what it's like
to
be on that side.
And because I make mistakes, a lot of mistakes recently, I'm more willing to forgive mistakes.
Yeah.
But yeah, we don't do a very good job of reaching out to the less fortunate.
We used to be so good.
Yeah. Like, I do DJ work, and we talked about maybe going to
Old folks home.
And we still haven't done that. We still haven't even called.
Oh, we haven't hardly done anything.
Yeah, I mean, it's this is a great idea, and then
I haven't done the laundry.
Yeah, so
So I mean, there are priorities here.
yeah. Anyway, that's all cerebral and all this fun stuff.
Okay, but what about telling the Christmas story?
'Twas a night before Christmas. The Jesus story?
The Jesus one.
I don't particularly want to do that. No, because I don't. Christmas has been repurposed. It was a pagan holiday, and it was actually not even practiced in the U.S. until the 1840s or 1850s, because it was pagan, and then Christianity came in and took it over. So the true meaning of Christmas is the winter solstice. Like, if people say, "Oh, remember the reason for the season," it's not it's not the same as it used to be.
Well, it's not even when Christ was born.
Yeah.
He was born in the spring.
Yeah. So.
But you don't like us being happy that he was born?
I don't see any value in his life.
Are you freaking kidding me?
He taught good ethics, but I don't.
And helped people.
But in terms of saving humanity, no, I don't.
But he was a wonderful example of giving and healing and helping and teaching to be kind and to love.
And also,
I mean, that was his whole deal.
And also saying, you're going to lose your parents if you join my religion, and that's okay.
It doesn't say that in the Bible.
Yeah, it does. If you follow me, you're going to lose your family. Yeah, it says that. He says that. So, there's that. That's why that's where I come from on that. Sorry. Did I break your heart?
I don't know, there's so many feelings.
it gets back to the us versus them concept. What are you thinking?
Every now and then, I get this surreal moment where I see how different you are from the man I married and me.
Mm-hmm.
And it still shocks me. And it just kind of knocks me off my feet, takes my foundation off again, and I was just kind of looking at you going, who are you?
Mm-hmm.
Who is this? So yeah, I was just having a surreal moment.
I'm sorry. Would you rather me not share that?
No. I mean, we have to talk. But I get to have moments like this.
There's nothing wrong with having these kinds of moments. I guess for me, I don't like that religion can tear a family apart by being a strong adherent to it. And I don't like the rhetoric that comes from the leaders of churches telling you to choose your religion over your family. I don't like that. And I still hear it from the leaders of the LDS Church to today.
It's a toughie.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to read it, but there's a quote today from one of the Mormon leaders that puts an us versus them, and I just don't like that. I don't, and I feel it a lot more strongly now that I'm out, and when I hear things that my kids can construe as my dad isn't worthy, my dad doesn't provide me the things that he is responsible to provide. Being a good dad isn't enough. Being a priesthood holder is what I need to be. And they go to church in primary and sing "We're a Happy Family" and "I'm so glad when Daddy comes home." And families can be together forever. I mean, I understand that that's hard for the kids. It would crush me as a child to know that my parent who used to believe in these things no longer believes, and as a result of that, I don't know if I won't be forever with that parent. I mean, that would rip me apart. It would kill me. Our kids don't deserve to hear that and to have that preached to them. And I'm the one that caused that. And you still want them to believe, and I've agreed to that, and that's okay, and I'm not telling you not to take them. But it is painful as a father to know they're going to church and hearing that and being preached that, and that I don't fulfill that because I don't believe. So that's when we talk about this right will always win and pitting groups against each other. That's where that annoyance that you didn't understand came from. So there's that.
Not every dad is the same, are they?
No.
There are plenty of things about our kid's dad that they have that many other kids don't have.
Mm-hmm.
They know that.
But yeah, let's focus on that.
And, you know, we don't know how it's all going to work out. That's kind of where we are in our beliefs.
Yeah.
But we believe it'll be made right. And that you're good. And they feel lucky to have you for a dad. I hope you know that.
Thank you.
Well, that took a turn.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah. Here's the quote that...
Oh, please, no. Please don't. Oh, please just don't.
I won't, if it bothers you.
I already have enough of my
Let's talk about...
own issues with having a non-traditional family, whatever the heck that means.
What are your issues?
I don't want to talk about them. That, which is why I'm saying don't read it.
Okay.
I mean, that's the thing, is that you know how you're like, it's okay. It's exciting to have the unknown. Well, I have a lot of unknown in a religious, spiritual sense. And some of it is exciting. And some of it just pisses me off.
About religion or about me or...
About religion. Like, people like having answers.
Do you feel like you don't have as many answers as you used to?
Well, I think that's what happens as you get older. I mean, you're born thinking in black and white terms.
Uh-huh. But do you think you have fewer answers than you would have had I not taken this detour?
Probably. I don't know. Well, I don't know. I mean, it's just, I probably wouldn't have thought too much about this stuff. Although I did watching my brother and his ex-wife go through it.
Yeah, but it's got to be different having your husband.
Well, yeah.
I mean, you live it every day.
Yeah.
It's difficult.
Why did you go down that rabbit hole? Sorry, sometimes I'm still mad.
Are you mad right now?
Well, apparently anger is a secondary emotion.
Oh,
The core emotion is I'm mourning the loss of something that was a lot easier.
mm-hmm.
And some of the things that we had then, we don't have now. And I'm sad about that. I know you are too.
I am. I don't show it like you. I don't.
You have whiskey.
I have whiskey and I mean, I try to separate my emotions from what I'm saying. I kind of speak on autopilot. If that makes sense. I'm sure it doesn't make sense, but
You had practice doing that your whole life.
I'm on autopilot a lot. I don't take the time to feel.
Yeah, me too, but it's starting to come back, and It's not fun.
So are you feeling angry at me or angry at the situation? Like God? What?
I'm not angry anymore. That is so 30 seconds ago.
What were you angry about 30 seconds ago?
I was angry at you. How could you do this to me?
It's hard. It's very difficult.
Which is why you get angry at the church. How could they do this to me? Because us being in this situation, because people like to blame someone. If we're looking for somebody to blame.
Well, in my opinion is if the church would come out and be honest about its history and forthcoming and admit that it's lying, yeah, this situation would be a lot better. But you are convinced the church isn't lying?
No, I'm not. I never said that.
But you believe it. You believe in the church, and you believe in the Book of Mormon and your spiritual experiences.
But you were talking about history.
I'm talking about the church admitting that it's not true. That's what I'm talking about.
That's like asking you to admit that evolution's not true.
There's proof. There's
proof in religion too, dear. You just discount it.
Spiritual proof.
You can't show me.
I can't show
the
you
kind of jump that that evolution, and I believe in evolution, I'm only using this for an argument, that evolutionists make. You have not seen it. You can see
evidence.
Circumstantial evidence.
No, not circumstantial evidence. There are fossils. Unless they came here from another planet.
But you don't see the big jump. That there's still a missing link.
I would be interested if there are any scientists listening to this, if they believe there's a missing link. I don't think there is.
I suppose to a religious person, there's not a missing link either. I don't know.
Yeah. So
we are so off topic.
We started on Christmas, and now we're ending in a discussion about missing links in science. So the time now is 11:12 p.m. on Thursday. What is today's date?
17th.
Thursday, December 17th. In 43 minutes, Star Wars will start.
Ba-bam!
Our son is incredibly excited for that.
Should we wake him up? Do you know how excited he would be?
My guess is he's already awake.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't think he's sleeping tonight. He's so excited. And we're not going to take him until next week.
Got to get the matinee prices, man.
Yeah, when I'm off work and when the crowds have hopefully died down a little bit.
Wait, you're off work next week, right?
That's the goal.
Okay.
Yeah. And can I just give props to Larry H. Miller, Movieplex, with their reserved seats. I don't know of anywhere in North Carolina that has reserved seats, and I loved that about the Larry H. Miller movies. So props to you if anybody from Larry H. Miller is listening.
We miss it.
We miss it a lot. So,
you know what else they don't have here?
What?
Fry sauce. People, we need to convert the world to fry sauce. I have a testimony of it.
Fry sauce. I've never... Ketchup for me.
It's okay, if you don't know what fry sauce is, it's ketchup mixed with mayonnaise, and it has to be a good mayonnaise, like Hellman's Best Foods is what they call it in the West. Maybe a tad of mustard, a little bit of pickle juice. I mean, everybody makes it a little bit different. And
then there's me, who is perfectly happy with tater tots and ketchup.
I mean, ketchup is good.
It's just better than fry sauce.
There's a place for fry sauce. and it's not back east, and I am missing it. Would somebody please send me some fry sauce from Arctic Circle? They have no Arctic Circle here.
Send it to the Winter's Quarters studio. Also, okay, so...
That's my grown-up Christmas list.
All right, so I guess we are at the hour and 5-minute mark, and
I'm still crying.
After this is edited, it probably won't be quite that long, but thank you to those who have donated to us on Patreon. I'm not sure if we've had any PayPal donations yet because I haven't looked.
People keep asking about this secret group. Will you explain what the secret group is?
The secret group is
not a secret.
Yes, it is. It's secret. You can't get in it unless you send me a friend request and let me know that you want to be in it. There isn't that much activity. So if we get more people, we can start having activity. But really, it's like 1 or 2 posts. So it's like, oh, this is cool, but.
And I'm so sorry I have not gone online.
You probably have comments or messages that nobody...
Forever. Yeah. I've been Christmas shopping like you wouldn't believe.
On Amazon.com.
I love online shopping.
So yeah, if you want to donate, we love donations, just to keep our hosting fees and everything under control.
It does cost money to do this.
Yeah. Yeah, so...
You never told me that was part of the deal.
Yeah. You've got the initial equipment set up, which isn't cheap, and then you've got the hosting fees on a monthly basis that you have to pay for, so...
Really?
Yeah.
You shouldn't tell me these things.
I'm sorry.
I mean, no, you should. We got to communicate. That's our whole show.
Yeah. So yeah, donations are much appreciated. We're begging. We're
poor paupers.
Shameless begging. If you caught us on Sacrilege this week, thank you for watching. I need to post a link on our webpage. It's on our podcast page on Facebook, but I'll put it on our webpage as well.
And it's not a mistake. I really didn't want to be in the shot on YouTube, so...
Yeah, and so instead we got me with our backdrop of clothes and a curtain.
And my hand. Every now and then you see my arm and my hand, because I talk so much with my hands.
Yeah, you haven't hit your microphone tonight.
I did once.
Did you?
Yeah.
I didn't notice.
But I haven't gotten the clothes.
Yeah, that's... Yeah.
There they are.
Okay, all right. That's... Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas and happy holidays. And happy Kwanzaa.
Hanukkah's over.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Enjoy...
The season's awesome.
Yeah, enjoy your reason for the season, whether it's Jesus, whether it's giving, whether it's winter solstice, whether it's Festivus. Enjoy your reason for the season.
And try to include love.
Yes.
And be inclusive of everyone.
Yep. Okay.
Amen.
Bye-bye.
Bye.